Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gilia and Kim Elevating and Empowering. Welcome, welcome to my lovely co host. So, today we really wanted to talk about victim shaming and victim blaming because we've been really immersed in covering the Diddy trial. And Cassie has been such a huge part of the Diddy trial. And what you and I are both noticing in that trial is how many people in the comments of social media are saying, well, why didn't she leave? Or she was just there for the money. Or if Diddy
Yeah.
wasn't rich, she would have left. How could you be abused like that and stay? And we really wanted to talk about the emotional toll that it takes being a victim. You had mentioned in our last show about trauma bonding and a
Yes.
psychologist testifying to that. And,
Mhm.
we just kind of
Dawn
wanted
Hughes. Yep.
to, yeah, just kind of literally elevate and empower people to know about this because we know that there are people that are listening to us that may be in the same situation. It might not be the exact situation where you have a almost billionaire music mogul that has control over your
Exactly.
complete life. But there are so many women and men who are being emotionally abused, physically abused, sexually abused, whether you're a child or an adult, and not to blame yourself because in our society, in our culture, we blame the victims.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
wonder if
Exactly.
some part of blaming the victim is because it's so hard for us as a people to process that someone would treat another human being so badly. And it's just easier to blame the victim instead of trying to figure out the pathology of why someone would treat someone so horribly.
And I
What do
don't
you, do
know
you think
too.
that?
Yeah, and I don't know too is because you do have, some uh that will come out proclaiming to be a victim and they weren't it was a either like when you think about basketball players or basketball stars in college and so forth that end up going to jail because a victim has said they were sexually assaulted, right? And then it
Mhm.
comes out that it never did, and it was just like, oh, I can't let my parents, because maybe they're of a different color, or
Mhm.
background. I can't let
But
my
let
parents
me
know
interrupt
that.
you there. I'm pulling a Kanye.
Yeah, no,
Let,
oh, wait,
let me
I'm just saying that
and I'm
they're
gonna let you finish.
I'm
That
just
is
wondering if
that is such a small percentage. I think because we talked about this before and I Googled it, and statistics shows it's about only 2 to 4% of people that say that they were R worded, because I don't can't say it on YouTube, that
right.
they were sexually assaulted. It's only about 2 to 4% that are actually lying, which means 96% to 98% of people, specifically women, are telling the truth when they say that they have been abused. And I also found out only 1% 1% of convicted R worders, um, I can't say the word, but it rhymes with grape.
Uh-huh.
Only 1% of grapists that are convicted actually serve jail time. So if someone is great, I'm sorry, it was 1 to 2%. If someone is great, there is a 98% chance that the person that greets you will not serve any time. So
Well,
I
and
always have to come with the stats because there's so many arguments once again about blaming the victim. And when I say people that say, oh, she's lying, it didn't really happen, that's about 2 to 4% of people that are actually lying. And then people that actually do the violent harm of grape, they will not serve any jail or prison time. That is appalling to me.
oh, it is appalling. It's ridiculous. And then also the ones that when the trial, like charges come about, because a victim did come out and say this happened to me, and then once a case starts, and then you know how people always say, well, where were they? And then all these people start coming out, and
Right.
they start questioning, like, well, why didn't they say anything? 5 years ago when it happened, so
Right.
it just creates this whole fog and this questioning, and they don't know, and what was going what events. Remember, I was talking about when you're not there with the moving events, with the people involved, you don't know why someone might not have come forth at that particular time and why they feel comfortable to come forth now. And just
Well,
me being a person has experienced it twice, being sexually assaulted. um,
yep.
I didn't come forth, and I didn't come
Right.
forth for a list of reasons that I want us to make sure that we start doing, right. I didn't come because I was like, they're not going to believe me.
Who's gonna,
I'm not going to get the support. Uh, you know
which are
how.
valid,
Yeah,
valid reasons not to come forward.
yeah. I don't know the unknown, of what's going to happen. I know one was that especially assaulted me was really revered, because they were in the church, and
Yep.
everybody loved him. He comes and makes brownies and da 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 da, and how they would have never believed me, right? Because you
Exactly.
know what I mean.
Exactly.
So just the things that like I said, me being a victim and me never saying anything. Um,
And
you
I
know,
think that's the majority of victims. I think the
yeah,
majority of victims don't come forward for everything that you're saying, because typically, and women are typically in the majority of victims, unfortunately. I'm not
right.
saying that there aren't male victims, but by far in the 90 percentile, women are the ones that are going to be victimized. This, and I've said it on shows before, this, our culture does not respect women.
Exactly.
It does not respect women.
Exactly.
So if a
Correct.
woman comes forward and says, this man did this to me, particularly if
Believe
this
them.
man was revered, if
Believe
he's
them.
big in the community, if he has money like Diddy, no one's going to believe them. No one's going to support them. And in fact, as a victim, if you do come forward, more than likely you are going to be demonized, which is what we're
Yeah.
seeing with Cassie Ventura during the Diddy trial. Why didn't she leave? Why did she stay? She was just there for the money.
Yeah. 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 And then and remember the point you make, and then the experience that I shared, the point you were there's plenty of victims that have been with the person that victimized them, that were not, their money was not a factor. And remember I mentioned what my mother went
Right.
through. My dad was
Right.
in fame, and fame and the
Well, let me
fortune.
take that. Uh, Sometimes money is a factor. It's just not millions of dollars.
Correct.
A lot
Yeah.
of women who are abused in their homes by their romantic partner, whether that's their boyfriend, their husband, it sometimes is about money because there's also financial abuse. If you typically, women make less money than men.
Right.
Typically, women are the ones that take care of the children. So for a woman, especially a woman with children, to get up and leave with no income or just with her income
Look,
job,
exactly. That's what happened with my mother. Exactly. And
that's
why
what
she
happens with
kept
most
coming back,
women.
right? And family and friends like, why does she keep coming back, right?
Right.
And my mom actually explained why. I have two
I
children that I have
don't
to
I
feed, and
don't
I
have
don't.
the money,
Yeah.
the resources, the support, because oftentimes our family also doesn't have the money to
Hmm.
say, let me give you $50,000 so you can move, or even 10,000 or even 1,000. Let me give you money so you can move away from your abuser, get a house in a different state or different city, even having rent for a down payment,
And two, and you try to run and go stay with family
a
members,
car
but you can only stay so long
for so
because they don't
long.
want you to, they start getting irritated of your existence being there. Okay, can't you get on your feet? Can't you go? And so you end up going back because you haven't had enough time to get on your feet. So I've watched that also happen to my mother.
You don't have enough time to get on your feet financially, but let's talk about the healing and the trauma that
Exactly.
needs to happen in order for anyone that has been abused to heal enough to start their life. Because it's more than about money. Money is a
Oh,
huge pivotal
yeah.
part about that,
Yeah.
but the trauma that literally will live with a person for the rest of their life. Like, you can heal from trauma, but it's always going to be there. And people don't think about that. They're like, why didn't she leave? For
Yeah.
Cassie, why didn't she leave?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And you talked about, you and I talked about this on our last show, and pertaining to your situation with your mom, the healing takes years, if not decades, if
Oh,
ever,
and my
because
mom
there are a
never
lot of
healed.
people
My
that
mother
don't.
d my mo passed away, and she 2 weeks before she passed away, she said, "I still haven't recovered. I still have low self-esteem. You just don't
Decades later.
understand." Yeah.
How
I
many
still can't
like
heal myself.
40 decades later,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I think you and I really wanted to do this show is to show another side of this victim blaming, one
Exactly.
for the victims, but also for everyone, all of us out there, to have some empathy and compassion with what your fellow human being has gone through or is going through currently. Like,
Oh,
I am big on putting myself in other people's shoes. And for me, that is so easy to be like, oh my goodness, that would be so hard.
yeah.
It would be hard to admit to others that this person that I love, that I chose, is hurting me, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And you just kind of think of, when you think about Cassie and all these people saying why she didn't leave, you got to go back to the beginning, of this young, she's not even 20 yet, that has all this talent. She danced, sing, all these talents, all these gifts, and she really thought she had this chance to break into the industry. And she started out with Ryan and was able to produce her single. And so she was seeing her rise come like, I'm finally getting there, right?
Finally.
And then here comes Diddy, who she thought was going to be that big impact in her career. And
And he should have
she's
been.
looking at him as, oh my gosh, I now know that I have
I've
made
made
it,
it. I've
right?
made it.
And he's looking at like, what's funny, he was looking at her as, I've got other plans for you, basically.
Yeah.
But the thing is, her "Kiss Me" song, he said it haunted him, and everybody was just like,
Really?
"That is interesting that that would be your, feel or your take on that song." It haunted him, and I would love more information as to what haunted you about her single, right? And
Right.
then he also said, "I had to have her." I had to have her. And he did all the little sneak tips, right? To be able to take her from Ryan and have her under his wings. And, he started with put her in the studio, but, you know, all the you're not doing that right. That dance, you're not moving. Like start picking pieces of why you're not as good as you think you
Mm,
are. And
mm.
so
Breaking
those are
down
the
her
things.
self-esteem
Exactly. You're like, I've made it. I know that I'm good, because you got to believe in yourself, right? Of your
to
gifts and
do
talents.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
To
know
do
that I'm
acting,
good. I
dancing.
made
Yeah.
it. And then here it starts. Um, no, you don't move like you should. You're gonna have to work on that. I looked at the video when she um they say so-called bombed the 106 in Park interview, and he
Yeah.
was just like, he just kept saying, I know she wasn't, I know she bombed this, I know it was so negative in the camera, in front of people, over reiterating.
Millions of people.
Right, even though he said, but you got to understand she's new. There was a better way. That was a part of it. I want you to keep hearing me say you bombed this, you bombed this. People are not picking up that negative subliminal message he was feeding to
Yep.
her.
Yep.
Because when
Yep.
you
Yep.
feed that, you're tickering down, you're beating down that
You're
self-esteem.
not good enough.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not doing this right.
Yeah. So,
And then the abuser makes you think that you're not good enough without me.
right. So
And
how
once again, it's
exactly.
someone that controls your life, whether it's Diddy is a multi-billionaire or someone that's married to someone with kids, there's control.
Right. So how do you get power over someone? Number one, you have to beat down their self-esteem, right? Where
Mm.
they feel
Oh,
like they're not empowered anymore. I don't
yeah.
know who I am. I thought I was. I'm not. You're questioning yourself. And then you start feeding them drugs to weaken them. right? And then then they're starting to believe that, oh, I'm not as good. I do need work, but I got this powerful man that's huge in this industry that's willing to deal with me, that's willing to work with me. Whatever he needs me to do, I'm going to do because I don't want to lose this because he's going to help me be better. When you were
Right.
already better, you were already
Ye-
good. He knew what he was just picking like just layers. You know how you peel layers?
and I think that happens to the best of us. I've had that happen to me. You've had that
I
happen to
have,
you.
yeah,
We know so many abuse victims. It's like I'm so glad you brought up the point. It starts with the picking at the self-esteem.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe you should, maybe you should lose a few pounds. I had this guy that I was dating told me, he said, "You have such a cute figure. It'd be great if you lost a few pounds."
See, see.
It sticks with me to this day.
Oh my, it's
Or, I mean, it could be anything of, they pick at an insecurity that you have.
oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
you're really smart, but, or you're pretty, but
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I remember even just being in school and, a couple classmates when, I would write a paper, um, "Oh, you're okay, but you gotta redo this is not you're not really good. Let me write it for you because you're not good," and that would happen through like when I got to college was when I really knew that, oh, I could write paper or I was
right,
really good because I had someone beating me down as to, no, you're not really good at writing. I'm going to write it for you. Here's where you're
right,
messing up. So it's so easy for people to, you got to be careful to take power over you. And that's what you don't ever want to do. And you've got to look for those signs. No one should come to you with negative feedback. You know what I mean? Um, constructive
well,
criticism is fine.
there's critical, yeah, there's critical,
Constructive
like,
criticism,
you can come to me with some
constructive
critical
criticism.
feedback,
Mhm.
constructive criticism that's going to
Yeah.
make me better. But if you're just like, "Oh, you bombed," or "You need to lose weight," or "You're
You
ugly," or "You're stupid,"
You
that's
got to know
not
the
constructive.
difference. Thank you. Know the difference. And then know, and like I said, she's already so young and impressionable, right?
She's a
So,
teenager.
right, feeding the drugs, starting to peel the layers of her self-esteem. Um, it, it, could you feel that there was no doubt for her to find herself in a place of being the sexual slave, whatever you want, because eventually I'm going to release an album. Whatever you want, eventually I'm going to get back in the studio again, to do my gifts because that's all I really want to do
Right.
is my
And not
gift.
even just that, but she loved him.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
If I do what he says, he'll love me. He'll spend more time with me. He'll treat me better.
Yeah, and always the
I've dealt with that.
misconception. Always the
I've dealt with that.
misconception. Yeah.
And also, can we talk about, on the flip side, the victim, but let's talk about the person that's doing the abusing. Do you think they realize that how they're destroying someone's life, even when it starts out small?
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I
Do
do.
you think they know it's a power play from the get-go, or do you
Oh,
think they're
absolutely.
just so traumatized that they're just
Um,
doing what they learned, or
I
both?
think that they're doing what they learned. Oh, absolutely. But there's no doubt I know that they know what they're doing. Like they're trying to say that he was so drugged up himself and want to use the drug for the reason why his behavior was what it is, right? And then
That's
you've
what the
got
defense is saying,
yeah, and you've got
for the
some
Diddy.
out there, that will drink and I don't remember what I did the next day. And you want to use those kind of things, right? No,
Yeah.
I know that the one that is victimizing someone, you know what you're doing. And here's back to the blame shame. How dare anyone want to say, what look, just even look and say, why did she say? Why did she put herself through that? Why would you not look at the picture, especially if you've seen the videos and say, how could you treat another human being like that? If this is what's so sad, if that was a videotape of Diddy kicking a dog, I
Come on
believe
now.
that it would
Instead
have
of
been more
a
impactful. More impact.
multiracial
It
black
would have,
woman.
yes, I believe that it would have been a massive outrage. He kicked that. Do you see what he did to that innocent puppy? You know, I am just so
Good
tired
point.
of what questioning the motives of the one being victimized, right? The victim, right? Instead of the one who's doing it. Why are we not asking, why did he do those things? How could he do those things?
I love that.
We're not, no, there's no
Let's
question.
start shifting the blame from the victim to the abuser.
Exactly.
Instead of asking
No, what
why
I have not
she didn't
seen.
leave,
Yes.
why did he treat her this way for
She
her to
didn't
have
leave
to leave?
because, oh, it's the money.
Right.
He can kick around women because he makes so much money. Why don't we ask that?
Right.
Oh,
We
so
don't,
he
and we
thinks he
don't
can
ask that.
kick around. Yeah,
But once again, even men that don't possess a lot of power and money, we still blame typically the female
okay.
victim.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, why didn't she
I,
leave?
yeah.
What, you know what I hear a lot? What did you do to make him hit you?
Oh, oh, that just gets up under my skin. Exactly.
Yeah.
And we've
And
just
I'm sorry, we
got,
probably should have put a trigger warning. And I probably should have put a trigger warning before I said that to you, because that is very triggering. I'm sure a lot of women have heard that.
oh,
What did you do to deserve to be
that's so
treated worse than
close
dirt?
to home for me. That right there.
That's why I said I
So,
should have done a
yeah,
trigger warning.
yeah,
Yeah.
so close to home.
So take a deep
And
breath.
yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, I was just like so
To
close
our
to home.
audience too, take a deep breath, because we got to move all of this is hard stuff to talk about. We got to move it
Absolutely.
through the body.
Yeah,
So keep
I,
breathing as you're listening to us.
yeah, men, women, audience out there, I really, really need you to stop asking the victim questions. See it, believe it. Okay. I need you to have the care and concern for the victim. I need you to ask the question of the one who victimized the victim. Why did he or she, because it could sometimes be a woman, why did he or
Sometimes
she do those things? What is wrong with that person to put their hands, feet, whatever, harm another individual?
mentally,
Yes,
spiritually.
exactly. The question should be aimed there, never the victim. And I want victims out there, Cassie, we stand by you. We love you. We are there and we are fighting for you. And this is not the end of your story. And don't wear this. And if you're going to wear it as something I overcame, right? Because I have greatness right in front of me, that I am destined for greatness. So if you want to wear it as like an like, oh, I bared it, I went through it, and look, I came out on the other end. It does not define me. Don't let it define who you are. It's just an experience you went through and you made it through. That's what I need our victims to do. And I know it's very hard to do that. Not because I don't want, you know, victims out there to end up like my mother that, left this world still in pain with low self-esteem, right? Um, I want, and I don't want, I want them to end up like me, how I move through, and others like me that are doing so great in life, right? So positive, because all that I had, all the sexual assaults that happened to me, they were experiences, they don't define me. I am moving through this world, I'm doing all the things I love, I'm helping other people, I'm empowered, my self-esteem is up high. You don't win. And that's what you victims don't let them win. You don't win. Your power is done. I own my power, not you. That's what I want.
That's what I want too. I have nothing else to say,
you're
because
like,
is it this way?
you're like,
She
you're like,
my
which
cousin
way?
said it all. My brilliant,
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
amazing
Oh,
cousin said it all.
own your power. And that's where you have to get to. So if you are, I feel like him, for our listeners out there, if you have someone that comes to you that is confiding in you with any type of abuse, any type, believe them. That's
Believe
the
them.
first thing you do, believe them, and then you offer your care and concern, and then you help them get help. You urge that they get medical attention if it's sexual assault,
Yep.
ask them to see someone, offer them that care and concern, to get them to the
Therapy,
next yes, to get them to the,
getting to safety,
give them
an
that
exit
survivor
strategy.
control, that survivor. I'm a
Yeah.
survivor. I'm a give. Yeah, I don't know. I can't sing. Um, yeah, give that. Help them know that they have options.
Right.
You know,
And that this is not this is just like you said, this does not define them.
No,
That it can
no,
get better.
it can get better. And
Yeah.
for all your haters out there that are questioning you for whatever reason, why did you stay? What did you say? Like you said, what did you say for him to hit you? Um, what they talking about? They talking about nothing. What
What
they
the
talking about? They not talking about nothing. What they talking about? Boom, bam, bang, bam, boom, bam, bang. Ah, come on.
they talk about nothing.
Oh yeah, Kendrick says it so much better than I do. That's what she's doing.
Well, cousin, I have to really commend you for sharing and being so vulnerable to everyone, to me, and to everyone listening, because you are a survivor. And I think anyone listening that is going through difficulties right now, whether you're a man or a woman, whatever kind of abuse, because especially emotional abuse, people don't realize that that is abuse too. And I feel
Yes,
that we can look at you, like you said, living your absolute best life, that you have survived many, many horrendous things. And look at you today.
yeah.
And so I want to lift you up and exalt
Oh,
you
thank
as an
you.
example to anyone out there listening, that your life is worth being safe and being respected and being loved. You do not, whatever abuse that you're getting right now, it's not, you're not, there's nothing that you're doing that is warranting someone hurting you in
Absolutely.
any way, in any way. Someone in your life calling you fat and ugly, that's abuse.
I mean, yeah, just like, when you said, when we were talking about the whole victim blaming, and, they said, why didn't she leave? Well, think about the ones that are murdered or sexual assault because they're jogging through the park. Why would they jog through the woods? Why would they wear that outfit to that party? What would, the very short skirt, the promiscuous, why would they do that? Why are we changing how we
Blaming the victim.
dress, how we run, where we walk, how we move, because some distorted mind of an individual that wants to hurt another, we got to change the game. No, it's they need help. They need help. They're the problem.
Exactly. And let me say this. I saw a stat that said the most dangerous man to a woman is her husband. It's not the guy on the street corner looking weird, like that's dangerous too. But
Right.
more women are killed by their intimate partners than by a stranger. And
Oh,
we need to
absolutely.
start talking about that. We need
Oh,
to start talking
absolutely.
about that. So once again, what you're saying, no matter what you wear or what you do, has absolutely no impact on being hurt by another individual.
And why you want, if you want to exert your independent thought, like you want to question
Yeah.
your significant other, and that, oh, you're questioning me, and you get beat down for just expressing your opinion or asking a question, because there are some relationships out there, how dare you question me, you don't have
Not
the
even
right to.
significant other.
Yeah.
It could be any
Oh yeah.
relationship, any relationship.
Oh, absolutely. That we can't let that happen. We can't
Yeah.
have women. Exert your power. You have power.
You
Exert
have power.
your power. Please don't give it away. Do not give your power away. If you
Right.
give even just a little bit of it, they're coming for the rest.
Yes. And I do want to piggyback on what you said about exerting your power, particularly to women. I want to definitely clarify that exerting your power does not look like what our culture and society tells us what power is, which is physical domination, typically through violence, right?
Right.
Your power is having autonomy over your body and your thoughts and living the life that you want. Living the life that you want, the
Mm,
life of your dreams is powerful. And the life of your dreams might be having your own apartment that's safe. It might be going to college. It might be not marrying someone, because society tells you that you have to, or not having
exactly.
kids, whatever. Your power is whatever it looks like. It's not the physical domination of war and fighting and violence.
Exactly.
And I
Yes.
think I think that's why we have so much abuse in the United States. I can't talk to other countries, but in the United States, because our media shows us that physical domination and violence is the only way to have power in this world.
Yes. And it like and it's a shame. It's a shame that I have to educate my daughter on exerting her power now at such a young age, and also to be
Speaking up for herself.
careful, right? And to be careful that just because a young man, seems okay and smiles, and you got to be, your intuition. I'm teaching her intuition because
Good.
every smile is not, you know, uh,
Yes.
yeah, every smile is not always good. Every smile is
Exactly.
not always kind.
Exactly. Exact. Good job, mom. And
So,
other
and it's a
parents teach not only your daughters like Genja's doing, but also teach your sons to be kind people, but also to look out for people that mean you harm.
Right. And Kim, I want us to do a show, and audience, we are going to do a show on um, providing education, or just a way, like on intuition, like, how to be
Good idea.
insightful in your situations, like to almost to try to prevent yourself from being harmed by
Yes.
just signs,
Great idea.
start being, inquisitive about different signs and actions and words. We're going to have a show to provide you some of those things, because
Let's
I
do
think
that.
that we can't just go off of face value anymore.
Mm-mm. Or logic.
Correct.
Well,
Yeah.
this person does this, this, and this. They're a pillar of the community. They're good. Or in Diddy's case, he's a music mogul that's known internationally, and he has all these artists and he has all this money, and he's a smart guy and he's done this and that. He can't he can't be like the weird, creepy guy on the corner ready to R word someone, but he is.
Exactly. And stop, let's, ladies, and that's not everybody, but let's not get hung up on material things. A guy driving a nice vehicle, flashy dollars, taking you to nice restaurants, buying you nice clothes, because you've got to make sure that um, those are not like gifts to lure you into human trafficking, because there's been instances of those as well, because that's a grooming process as well.
Yes,
So never
yes.
get, and then you find yourself, I've seen that happen, incidents of how, women are lured into human trafficking,
Oh,
because they get
that's such
caught
a
up
good point.
into this amazing upfront treatment things, and oh, nice car, and I got this, and the next thing you know, you're chained up, or you've been given some kind of drug, and you get lured to another
Or you're
place,
a
and you're
Schmeg
chained. Yeah,
slave that
exactly.
has to testify in a major trial.
Yeah, and all you can be at this point is be lucky to get through it and be alive, to help yourself and others. So
Yeah.
those are the kind of things we're gonna we wanted to do a short segment today on, victim blaming, shaming, and
Because we're seeing it so much. We're seeing it so
yes, we needed
much
to
for this
stop.
Diddy trial. And it's like Cassie is on trial.
Yeah, and women are doing it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women against women, right?
Well,
Because go
because
ahead.
I always talk about patriarchal societies. We all are taught the same thing, that men know best and men are better.
Sad.
We're all taught the same thing. I understand why women are defending Diddy, because that's what they've been taught.
It's gotta stop. Come on, women. Come on. We gotta uplift each other.
When men, come on,
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah,
because it
yeah.
starts. It's not only about educating women; it's educating men. It's educating our sons,
Yeah,
our
because you got
boys.
the Justin Bieber, you don't know what has happened. You've got some
Right.
other young artists, you just don't know what has happened. Those have not come forward. That's have also endured some abuse. So, there's just so many things. And we just gotta, yeah, there's so much to talk about. And so Kim and I wanted to make sure because we've been, bringing the news about the trial. We've talked about Shannon Sharp. We've given some real talk lately. But we want to make sure that we don't veer from, empowering, and elevating, which is what we do and what we're about. And that's what we want to make sure that we provide this segment. And so we're not going to forget about you guys in that way. So,
Well, and I've mentioned before also using cultural events that are going on right now, like Shannon Sharp and Diddy, to elevate and empower. Because this is where this victim blaming came from, was this big salacious trial. And
exactly.
me and Gilead want to tell you all of this drama that's going on in the media and in Hollywood is the same drama that goes on in the everyday life of a school teacher, of a plumber,
Absolutely.
of a,
Absolutely.
lawyer, whatever, of a stay-at-home mom.
Absolutely.
It's everything is all the same, just different in tax brackets,
Exactly.
unfortunately. Like, being wealthy is not going to shield you from bad people.
Exactly. Exactly. You doesn't matter. Money, more money, more
Fame.
problems. Yeah. I won't do a Diddy song. I will be good. I won't do, yeah. But
Well,
I will.
go ahead, do. I'm like, what did he say you want to
Like, I will keep. I will reframe.
I always say we have
You
to
know
laugh
that.
to keep from
Oh,
crying.
no. The more money we
Oh,
come across, the more
the more
problems we
problems we
see.
see.
Oh,
B-I-G.
right, right. You brought it. You told me. I couldn't help it. I was like, I can't sing. I,
Because we have in this world, let me tell you, Gilead, what you already know, and our listeners out there, we have to laugh to keep from
yeah,
crying.
yeah.
Have humor in your life, have joy in our life. So, anyone that thinks that it's unprofessional that we're singing Diddy songs or we're laughing, we are doing that to keep our mental health clear
Absolutely.
and healthy. And we recommend that you all do the same. Watch a comedy, laugh,
Oh,
dance, because this world,
yes.
baby, is
Oh,
crazy.
my daughter has me doing TikTok. I don't even know them dances. I'd be like, what? Wait a minute. And I used to break dance. And I'm like, I can't get this. I can't get this rhythm right. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, I can't. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm just dead right. So yeah, do all those things. Have fun.
have
Um,
fun, have some
like Kim,
joy.
yeah, like Kim said, yes, I have been through trauma a lot, but no one would ever know. And when I talk to individual people and I tell my story, because a lot started when I was a child, they're like, God, you're always smiling. You're always so chipper. You're so happy. And I said, I got my power back. I got
Oh,
my power back and I'm not going to give it up anymore. And my goal is to make sure no one else goes through what I do. And if they do, I'm going to help them get their power back. That's what I want
yes.
to do.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Ashe.
So
Amen and Ashe.
Kim and I love y'all, man. We trying to make sure that y'all are good. And we want to provide you everything that we can, the tools and everything that we have and experiences that we've been through to make sure that you too, hold on to your power and you have everything that you need to live your best life. As we
Mhm.
said at the beginning, the very first podcast, and that's what we're going to maintain throughout. So,
That's what we're here for. We're here to elevate and empower, and that means you.
but I'm about to do because we're about to leave, and I'm about to do what Kim did to me the last show. She
What's
always
that?
puts the suspense stuff out there, right? And I'm like, oh no, you didn't. So I'm about to do it because we can't talk about it right now. We'll have to talk about it next show.
Oh
So
no.
Bill Belichick, is he engaged? Did he get engaged to the
I
young?
didn't hear that. So you did.
Okay, so there you go. Yeah. We'll talk about that next. Yeah. Whoa. What does it say? It was 1 plus 8 rings. there were signs, and it was on TMZ that engagement in the wings. That yeah, there's so much around that story. So
And
no,
before
no,
we
no,
leave, how
no,
old is he? And how old is his fiance?
oh gosh, how old is he again?
In the 70s?
They are he's 102. No, I'm kidding. I will, I will say though, um, would you date him? I would date him. I mean, I
Hell
no,
yeah.
oh God, he is. It's not for the money. I think that he's a handsome. You know, did I? Yeah, I did say his name right. I think he's a handsome guy at 73 years old.
Oh, is he 73?
Oh,
Hell
I
yeah.
think he. Oh my gosh.
But I'm 50, about to be 51, so
So you're
that's
saying
only
that's
like
not
20.
I'm not gonna say how
Yeah, because I'm
much.
a
I'm
grown
not gonna
ass
say how
woman.
old I am.
I'm a grown ass woman. I'm not 20 something.
I'm not gonna say, yeah, how old. No, I'm not.
His
Uh,
fiance is.
well, I'm not gonna say how old I am because you were like,
Oh,
I
okay, okay.
am. Yeah. Let me see. So if he's 73 and she's 24, is that bad?
50. Is that a 50 years age
Mm,
difference? 49 years. I'm
is
not
that
saying
bad?
it's, I mean, actually, this we're getting into another show.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
just
no,
leave
I
it
said
at
we weren't doing it. No, 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 no,
you,
no.
you see how I
No,
got her? You
that's
see
not
how I
fair.
got her to
That's
talk
not
about
fair
it
because
just
you
a
did it
little?
to me. No, 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 no. You guys, it's been great. Kim,
I
what do
got
they
her.
need
I
to
got
do?
her.
You did all that. What do they need to do?
They, you, listener, watcher, you need to like, subscribe, and really, we want you to comment. Like,
Yes, we're
what do
getting
you think about victim
comments, and I
blaming?
love it.
Yeah, have you dealt with some trauma in your life? Do you think Bill Bel would you date Bill Belichick?
I would. I would. I think he's
No,
handsome.
no,
I like
but
the
seriously,
smile.
please leave
I
us
like
a
the
comment.
spaces and his teeth. I like his, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I would date him. I mean, him being rich doesn't hurt,
Right.
but once again, now that I'm older, I'm like, what is person's character? Are you kind? Do you have character? What are your morals? Because being rich, let me tell all y'all, especially the women, being rich, it don't cut it no more.
Mm-mm.
Because you
Mm-mm.
need to know that you're safe and valued and respected and loved in any relationship, whether it's a
One,
poor man or a rich man.
100.
Don't be dating poor men. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother show.
Yes. So come on, more. We got so many subscribers on board. We want more. Come on. Uh,
Subscribe,
yeah, we love your
comment.
comments. We love all the likes we're getting. And we're going to continue bringing this to you. More topics, more love, more elevation, more empowerment. We're going to keep bringing it to you. All right. We love you. And what? You can't do anything about it.
Bye.